Ain't it funny how they think they can stop me? Try to be me, but I'm so sorry you not me.
You are now tuned into the Dads Who Live podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gaeta. I got here with me the new podcast manager, my boy Mason.
Hey, how you doing?
So we're going to do a Q&A style episode today. We haven't done one of those in a minute. I do want to start with the housekeeping though. We have a fee for the show. I'm taking this from Andy Versella. It works for him. I like it. So we don't charge anything monetary, man. We don't ask you for any money. There's no subscription. We don't have ads every fucking 5 minutes. Actually, we don't have any ads at all because I don't want to do that to you guys. What we have is a fee, and the fee is you share the show. You tell a friend, they tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing organically. Share it on IG, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook. Just share the fucking show. Shoot the link for Apple Music or whatever the hell it is. You know, just share the fucking show. We have thousands of downloads on this. Thousands. We have hundreds of downloads a week. It should be growing a lot faster than it is. That tells me that you guys are not doing your part. My part is to come in here and give you my time, which to me is very fucking valuable, and I'm just trying to add value, man. So if we add a value at all to you, please share the show. You tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing organically. If we didn't add any value to you, or you didn't get a laugh, you didn't like the episode, quit fucking listening, right? So if you liked it, you got something out of it, share the show. We have badass apparel, Dads Who Lift, hats, shirts, hoodies, all that stuff's on our website, www.dadswholifapparel.com, tank tops. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Apparel, Facebook is Dads Who Lift Apparel, and then we have a Facebook group. This is a group on Facebook of 55,000 like-minded dads trying to be their best selves and stay fit at the same time. If that's something that interests you, check that group out. Again, it's called Dads Who Lift Official on Facebook. We are fucking cleaning that group up right now too, and it's been going pretty fucking well. We really haven't lost very many members. We're still at 55,000, actually more. I've got moderators in there now, so we're cleaning it up. It's a growth-minded group, growth only, man. Parenting, fitness, health, wealth. If God needs to reach out for help, that's what this group's for. This group is made to make us better versions of ourselves in every fucking single way, every single fucking day. And that's what this group's for. It's not for monkeys jerking off. It's not for bullshit. If that's what you post, you'll be booted the fuck out. So I feel good about the way the group's going, man. I feel good about the direction we're heading. And I already see more guys in there posting a lot more growth-minded shit, which is cool as fuck for me. So, all right, Mason, so we're going to do Q&A. Mason's got 3 questions for me. I haven't seen these questions. He's just going to ask me one at a time, and then I'm going to answer to the best of my ability, and hopefully we get something useful out of this.
All right. So I came up with these questions because, I've been working with you for only about 2-3 weeks now.
It's been about a month.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Yeah, most definitely. But you motivate me every time I come in here and do the podcast.
I appreciate it, man.
So I'm behind the camera listening, and sometimes I forget to look at the camera because I'm like so in tune to what you're saying. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that back home, and because I'm a new business owner as well, so I appreciate what you're doing. So one of the first questions I have is with about saving money, and so it's how do one learn how to manage money when starting off in a new business and not live paycheck to paycheck?
So that's a good question. I think back, I've been 13 years in business. I think back to when I started, man. And I think living paycheck to paycheck is part of starting a business. I don't know that you're really going to get away from that in the beginning unless you really fucking hit one out of the park, right? But either way, even if things are going well and you do hit one out of the park, you should still be living paycheck to paycheck. And the reason that I say this is not for... this goes against like what everybody else would think or what everybody else would believe, and it's probably not what people want to hear. But what I don't mean is you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're barely paying your bills and you don't have money to put back into the company. What I do mean is that you're living paycheck to paycheck because you're reinvesting everything that comes in back into your company to grow your company and create wealth, right? Andy Versella talks about it all the time. His first 10 years, he didn't make a paycheck at all. Right? Didn't take anything. I think he said his first 13 years in business, he collectively took like $50,000 out total in salary. Lived in his stores, right? When he started. Now it's $100 million a year company, probably $1 billion evaluation company, right? When I first started, it was very much so the same. I wasn't I was blessed enough to hit it off and make pretty good money from the beginning, but I still, like, I wasn't living in my shop, but I still wasn't driving around in a fucking Ferrari, right? I wasn't driving around in my Hellcat that I have now. I didn't have my Razors that I had now, right? I didn't have any of the shit that I had now. Everything that I had went into my home. I provided for my home, my family, food, and then reinvesting back into the company, whether that be buying equipment, running advertising, paying ads. And by reinvesting my money back into the company and living very modestly on my side, just know, guys, that shit's going to come, right? There's going to get to a time if you reinvest into your company and you bet on yourself, right? If you don't bet on you, nobody else will. If you reinvest in your company and you bet on yourself, there will come a time that you'll be able to take a lot of money from the company. And then you'll be able to have the things that everybody wants to have. But it doesn't happen overnight and it doesn't happen right away, right? I still remember thinking, and again, my first year, I was pretty blessed. I did pretty well. I was able to buy a nice house. I did close to $1 million in business my first year, right? So I was able to buy a nice house. I was able to buy some equipment, but I still reinvested everything except for my house, which I needed for my family, back into my company. And I remember thinking those first, it was probably, 13 years in business now. I really didn't start buying shit until 2016 is, I think, when I first bought my first Razor, and I was in business in 2010. So it took me 6 years before I bought anything that was a toy for me, right? Yeah. And I still was very modest at that. I just bought one Razor, right? It really wasn't until the last, maybe 3 or 4 years that I actually started buying toys and actually buying nice shit and having nice shit. And I just remember those first few years thinking and it's crazy how what you want in life changes. But I remember thinking at that time, man, I just want a fucking boat and a camper. Yeah. If I can get a boat and a camper, man, I fucking made it, And now I've got multiple houses in different states all across the United States with all the shit, right? All the nice things. So, but had I blown my money, instead of in the beginning taking that income that I was providing with starting this company and funneling it back into my company to grow my company with advertising, buying equipment, paying my employees, increasing wages, increasing salaries, and I would have just went out and bought a fucking vet the first year, I would have never made it. I wouldn't be here today. So are you going to live paycheck to paycheck sometimes? Yes. Should it be in the way that you can't pay for your bills, you don't have the money to reinvest into your company, you can't, and you're living paycheck to paycheck? No, it should be, hey man, I'm living modestly, I'm living as modest as I can, but everything that I'm making, I'm putting back into this, and I'm betting on myself, and I'm betting on my future, and I'm creating wealth, and through that, you will grow wealth through time.
Most definitely. Okay. So my next question is talking about more family.
Okay.
And so I wanted to ask you, as a father, what should every dad want their kids to view them as?
Okay, that's a tough one. Fucking Superman, dude. I want my son to look at me like a fucking role model. I want my son to aspire to be me. And here's the fucking kicker, though. Here's the catcher. Your kid's going to probably, if you're in their life, gonna probably aspire to be you regardless, no matter what. So you need to make sure that means something to you. You need to make sure that you're being a good role model and leading him in the right direction, because the man that you are when he's a kid more than likely is the man that he's going to be when he's an adult. I'll say that again. The man that you are personally when your child is a child is more than likely the man that he's going to turn into when he's an adult, right? Those are the things that I look at. So do I want my son to look at me as Superman? Yes. But the kicker is your kid's going to look at you as Superman no matter what, as long as you're in their life, because you're their fucking father, right? Almost every son looks at their dad like Superman. So what does that mean to you, right? Are you going to make your kid think that Superman is a piece of shit? Are you going to make your kid think that Superman is a 400-pound dude sitting on the couch eating potato chips, right? Are you going to make your kid think that Superman is someone that treats his mother like shit, right? Because they're going to look up to you either way. So the catch-22 in that is especially when they're young children, when they get older, they start figuring some shit out, right? And they know what's right or wrong if you did a decent job. But you need to make sure that you're setting a good example and knowing that they're going to look up to you and they're going to follow you no matter what. And so you need to make sure that means something to you really to you. You need to make sure that means something to you. So you need to make sure that you are being a good role model, that you're being the man that you want them to be, that you're treating people with respect, that you're treating the mother with respect, that you're paying the bills, that you're financially stable, that you're healthy, wealthy, motivated, in shape, right? Mentally and physically in shape, right? It all goes together. I talked about on the last podcast about, you know, a cog system, how everything's intertwined in our lives and everything's connected, right? But I don't want my son to grow up thinking like, oh, dad's too fucking tired or too lazy or too fat to go throw the fucking football with me, right? I want my son to know that he's a priority in my life. And it wasn't always like this. I've created a system, and I coach it now, called the Alpha Limitless Lifestyle, right? But in the beginning, I did a lot of shit wrong, which is how I've been able to get to where I am now. And I was not a great father in the beginning. I was a great father in the terms of like providing for my family, providing for my son, making sure there was food on the table, making sure that we had a house to live in, making sure that he had like cool shit for Christmas, right? But I was not a good father as far as making sure that my son knew he was a priority and that he got time, that he was a priority in my life. I'll never forget, I talk about this in my master class when I do master classes, but I'll never forget the time that my son came up to me and he said, like he had something, he was super excited, he had something to tell me. And he said, and I was in the office working, and it was late as fuck, like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I was still in the office working. And he came in and he said, Dad, I know you're really busy. I don't want to bug you, but. And that broke my fucking heart, dude. Like, that broke my heart. Like, I really had to take a step back and go, God damn. Like, my own son is so, like, he's excited about something, and he's scared to come and tell me because I'm so unapproachable, because I work so much. Like, that's fucked up. That's not right. Right. And so I used to always think that you had to separate your work and your home life, right? That you had to have a separate work life and then a separate home life and all this shit. And that's all bullshit. The truth is, when you're an entrepreneur, the fact of the matter is the best way to do it is to intertwine your home life and work life, right? So I want my son to see part of my business. I want my son to know what it is to be a good businessman. I want my son to see me do deals, right? I want my son to see me work on shit and take care of shit and do things the right way, right? So my son now knows that he's a part of my life in every single way. Like, I'll go look at a property to buy. He's fucking coming with me. I've even pulled him out of school some days if there's been something really important business-wise that we're doing that I wanted him to be a part of. I pulled him out of school and brought him with me. When I signed on my last Airbnb that I bought, he came with me and signed with me. Right? So he knows that he's a priority in my life just as much as everything else is a priority in my life. And really, when it comes down to it, he's the biggest priority in my life, right? But fathers a lot of times get it twisted and they think, hey man, I got to fucking provide. So like, you don't get it now, but I'm doing you a service because I'm providing. Yeah, dude, you do have to fucking provide, but you have to do more than that. If you want to be a good fucking father, you got to do more than just provide. You got to provide more than just fiscally. You got to provide with energy. You got to provide with love. You got to provide with attention, right? You got to guide your fucking children. So I want my son to see me as Superman, but I want him to see me as a fucking role model Superman, someone that I'm going to be proud for him to become, right? And to be better. Like, I've fucked up a lot, but when I fuck up, I tell my son I fuck up. I tell him, hey, dude, that wasn't right at dad. Like, that's not okay. That's not all right. I really apologize. I love you. I give you a hug and kiss. Like, know that you can be better than this moving forward when I have shortcomings, right? Because everybody has shortcomings, okay? And I've always said, like, man, if I'm good, my son's going to be 10 times better because he's going to see all the shit that I'm doing and all the cool shit that I'm doing and the hard work and dedication and consistency, and he's going to take those strong attributes and then he's going to take my weak points and make them even better, right? But our children are going to turn into us. So I want him to see me as Superman, but a Superman that I am proud of him becoming.
Okay. And then, so this last question is on the business side. Once you've become successful in business, what helps drive you to wake up and still get to work every day? Because I know when I come sometimes, even early in the morning, you're already out in working hard. Oh, yeah. You know, working super hard. So what keeps that drive in you to even just keep going in business?
That's a really good question too. Man, there's a couple different facets to this, right? The first thing that I really want to say and like scream out is like, drive is fucking fleeting. Drive is bullshit. Motivation is bullshit. Motivation is fleeting. You have to create, you have to create habits, daily habits that continue you going and living the lifestyle that you want to live. Now it's double faceted because you need to live your passion. And if you do live your passion, you're going to wake up every day. I don't want to say that you're always going to be driven or motivated because it is fleeting, but you're going to wake up most days and you are going to have some drive and motivation because you're doing what you love to fucking do. Mm-hmm. You're doing what you're put here to do. You're doing what God sent you here for, right? So live your passion. Find your passion. If you guys don't know what your passion is, this is still one of my favorite practices. I've said this on multiple podcasts, but Charlie Rocket. I met Charlie Rocket. He's really big into manifesting and quantum physics and quantum reality and quantum realm and all kinds of crazy weird shit that I believe in. And he said, guys, when we grow into adults, we get so far out of tunes with ourselves because we take everything too seriously. And he said, sometimes you just need to be a kid again. And he says, so what I do, this is what he said. He's like, so what I do is I sit on the ground, on the grass, cross-legged, and I shut my eyes and I dream, right? So just like you did when you were a kid, when you were in preschool or kindergarten or whatever, they used to call it Indian style. It's probably looked frowned upon now, but right, you sit cross-legged on the ground and you sit Indian style and you sit there and you dream, right? And it connects you with the earth. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But the point is that I'm getting to, if you don't know what your passion is, shut your eyes and picture your fucking dream life and picture what you want to do every single day. Because I'll tell you guys right now, for a lot of you, your drive is the money and the things and the fast cars and the fucking Ferraris and the Lambos and the wakeboard boats and the houses and all the shit, right? And that's okay in the beginning, but that's fleeting too. Someday that's going to go away. Okay, so if that's what's driving you right now, that's okay. But know that at some point that's no longer going to drive you, because I'm telling you, as somebody that has cool shit like that, it doesn't fucking do it for you. It's cool for a month, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just another fucking car, And I had my fucking Hellcat sits in the garage. I drive it twice a year. It's 800 horsepower car that's super fun to drive. But the point is that shit is not. That's not the stuff. The stuff is figuring out what you're truly happy to do and what you're passionate about in this life. And when you can wake up every day knowing that you're going to work, that's when knowing that you're going to work on your passion. That's when people say I don't even work. You'll never work another day in your life, right? Because you're getting up and you're doing what you love. For me, I love fucking helping people. I've got to the point to where I love helping people. So I get up every day, and if I can help somebody, whether it's my employees, providing for their families, creating a job for them and their families, watching them be able to provide for their children, that's cool as fuck for me. That comes from me. My company and what I'm doing is able to provide multiple families with enough money to take care of their fucking families, right? Or getting on this podcast and helping people, or coaching, or whatever it may be. Helping people in general is my passion, right? And it keeps me in tune and it keeps me in check too. So when I can wake up and I know I'm shooting a podcast that day, I'm happy as fuck, dude. I'm ready to roll, and I'm waking up with some passion and some fire. So there is a little motivation and dedication. There is a little bit of motivation and drive there. But even if you're living your purpose and you're living your passion and you're following your passion, there's no fucking way that you're going to be motivated and have drive or be dedicated every single day. And what it takes to continue to win on those days is you have to set up good habits. And you have to set up good habits through consistency and discipline. And that's how you do it. So they say a habit takes 21 days to form, right? So you start doing something new. First 21 days, it feels off. It feels weird as fuck. It's hard to do. It's hard to remember. It's hard to get through it. But you push through it anyways. After 21 days or 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or a year, that shit is just second nature. Now you wake up and you do it no matter what. Whether you feel like you want to do it or not, it doesn't fucking matter, because even if you're not motivated to do it, if you don't do it, you feel worse, right? That's what a habit is. You're so used to doing it that if you don't do it, you feel worse. And so you push through no matter what, and then when you get done, you feel better, right? So I use, through consistency and discipline, I create habits that produce the results and the life that I want to live down the road. So these are not just I'm going to go have a habit and smoke cigarettes, right? These are you have to look at your life and say, hey, this is the life that I want to live. This is the place that I want to get to. This is the person that I want to be. what are things that I need to do every day to get me there? What is the lifestyle that I need to do, right? And that's what you're doing by forming these daily habits, is you're creating a lifestyle. What is the lifestyle that I need to what are the things I need to do in the lifestyle I need to do and live to get me to this place that I want to be? And then you do those every single fucking day, right? The other thing too, and I did kind of touch on it, but for the business owners, man, you know, in the beginning, it is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It is very like addicting or exciting when you're building your company and you are reinvesting your money and reinvesting your wealth, and you see wins here and you see wins there and you see wins here and there. It's very exciting, and it's easy to just build that company, right? But at a certain point, and I feel like this is kind of what you're getting to with the question, because you were saying like, hey, down the road, if you've already had a company for a while, once you get out of that kind of exciting phase of the initial like build and things are up and running and things are flowing, right? Your attention needs to turn to your employees. If you're an entrepreneur, your attention should be your employees. And, you know, once you've created wealth and you've created a company that provides you with things, first of all, the way that you get there is by giving back. So you give back to your clients, you give back to your employees, you be the best boss that you can be. What we did is like, in the beginning, when I was first starting my company, everything was really fucking like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, everything was really like just hardcore, just grind, go, work. I worked fucking 7 a.m. till 8 or 9 o'clock at night every single day. Worked weekends, most weekends. Worked with my guys on the cruise every single day, you know, ran them like fucking slave ships, just fucking drove hard, right? And everybody just made a regular hourly wage. And as the company started doing better and it got bigger and bigger and things were flowing smoother and smoother, and I was able to kind of step back out of those roles and iron with like an iron fist, I guess you would say, in the field, right? Then I was able to hire people to put in place to manage certain divisions of my company. And then I started so in the beginning, it was very like fight or flight, very like, okay, we got to do this. We got to build, right? Then it finally got to a point where it was like, okay, money's flowing. Things are going good. We got work. We got business. You know, clients are happy. Then for me, it really switched to how do I get good quality employees in here, and how do I take care of them, and how do I create a place where families, you know, men with families, women with families, fathers, you know, parents want to come and work, because that's what I want. I don't want the, you know, the college kids that are partying every single night. You know, we're doing skilled labor. I want guys, you know, with families that have people to provide for, that have responsibility in their lives, right? So what we did is I said, how can we get better guys in here, more skilled guys, more quality guys, more responsible guys that really care about this company? What can we do to create the best environment in our field? And for us, you know, being a small business and being in the lawn, snow, landscape, and then pool division, there's not a lot of companies that provide benefits. Right. So what we looked into and what we started doing was we started providing benefits. And so now we have, you know, paid dental, paid health, paid vision. We even have life insurance policies. We have PTO for our salary guys. These are the things that we provided to be able to give back to our employees, which in turn allows the company and me to get better employees in that are more quality employees, which takes care of our customer base better, and quite honestly makes my life a hell of a lot easier. It gives me time to do other things that I love to do in my passion, like this podcast. So that was a long-winded fucking answer to that one, but I think I nailed some of it. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So, all right, guys, that's three, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Mason killed it on his first podcast. Got it.
Right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, please give us a like, share, 5-star review if you got any value out of this. If you got, you know, a smile out of it, a laugh out of it, perspective change, any fucking thing at all. If you like the show, please share it. Tell a friend. They tell a friend. Share it on IG. Share it on Facebook. Tag us. Dads Who Lift Apparel on Instagram. Dads Who Lift Apparel on Facebook. That's how we spread this thing, guys. Pay the fee. We are on. We have a Facebook group called Dads Who Lift Official. That's a group of 55,000. Man, I can't fucking talk today. Jesus. That's a group of 55,000 like-minded dads trying to be their best selves and stay fit. If that's something that interests you, check that group out. Again, it's Dads Who Lift Official on Facebook. We have apparel. My coaching is on there as well. I offer life coaching, Alpha Limitless Lifestyle. I can help you turn your life around. You can check all that out at www.dadswholiftapparel.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make it a great day.
They told me that like when I get cocky, ain't it funny how they think they can stop me? Try to be mean, but I'm so sorry you not.